Welcome to the Futures Lab. So, this week we're making an attack called the wave attack. So you can see how it works. We've got these two rows of projectiles that move up and down on the screen. If we repeat them, we can create these winding paths and force our player character to find the gap between these two rows of projectiles. And we can create very different looking attacks if we change how long the sequence is. This could be very useful, for example, for a jumping section later on when we put in the ability to make the heart blue and lose its ability to float around. So this looks all pretty good. Let's get down to the coding. So first things first, we're going to make sure we've got our projectile sprite selected. We're going to go to costumes. And I'm just going to copy the long costume that we used for the walls attack. So I'm going to right click here, normal click on duplicate. Now this is important. You need to drag this costume down until it's costume number 5. And then select the name. And we're going to rename this as wave. Now as always, your projectiles can look the way that you want them to, but I recommend unless you're prepared to do a bit of changing of the numbers of the attack that I'm going to be doing, that you try to make sure that your projectile shape is about 200 pixels tall and about 10 or 20 pixels wide, okay? So just stretch it around until you have dimensions, and you can see them right here underneath its name, that look somewhat similar to that. Okay, let's go back to the code. So let's start off by going to My Blocks and clicking on Make a Block. So we're going to call this attack the wave attack. I'm going to put that in capitals. And now I'm going to type in direction. And this is just to let you know what this next input is. So click on Add an Input. I'm going to call this D for direction. Then I'm going to click on Text, add a label. I'm going to call the next input angle. So we're going to add that input now. We're going to click on Add an Input. I'm going to call it A for angle. And then we're going to click on the text, add a label again. We're going to say repeat. And we're going to click on Add an Input, R for repeat. So the direction, as always, is going to be, in this case, it's going to be left or right. The angle, that's going to be how steep the projectiles change as they sort of weave up and down. And the repeat, as always, is just how many of them are we making. So let's click on OK in blue here, and let's get this define wave and drag it off somewhere where we've got a bunch of space underneath it. So first of all, having a look at some of the things that we need to figure out for our attack. If you look underneath this attack we've got here, we've got set fade in, set projectile spawn rate, switch costume, and go to layer. All right, let's decide that for our wave attack. So let's go to variables. Let's pull out set fade in to no. Let's pull out a set projectile spawn rate. Now you can change this later, but I think I quite like 0.1. This is going to be the gap in between the individual projectiles that make up our wave. Okay. Then we're going to go to switch costume, and we're going to get out switch costume to wave, and then we're going to get out go to back layer. Okay, that's all looking pretty good. So now the next thing that we need to do is we need to start making projectiles that are above the box and below the box. So the way that I'm going to set this up is we're always going to have a gap at the bottom that's going to go up and then come back down again. So that will make more sense a little bit later. So first of all, we need to make our projectile that's sort of below the box. So let's go to motion. Let's look for set Y, and let's set Y to minus 210 to start off with. Let's see what that looks like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sort out the code for our direction. Now, the way that I'm setting up this attack, it's going to go from either left to right or right to left. So let's go to control, and let's get out an if then else. Put that underneath set y, and then go to operators, pull out an equals operator, and put it in between the if and the then. Then we're going to grab out our direction, our little d, that's part of our define wave. And we're going to click on this 50, and we're going to say if we type in R for right, then the attack is going to start from the right. So, and if we type in L, or anything else actually, technically, because of how an if then else works, the attack's going to start from the left. So let's go to motion, and let's pull out set x to, we're going to set the x to, let's say 130. That's going to make it appear on the right side of the screen. Then we're going to go to point in direction, pull that out, put it underneath, and we're going to point the projectiles back towards the left so that they will spawn on the right but move left. Okay, so let's do the opposite of this underneath the else. So I'm just going to right click here, normal click duplicate, pop this in the else, and then I'm going to put a minus in front of this 130 so that it's on the left side, and then I'm going to point the direction back towards the right. Okay, that all seems pretty good. So next thing, we need to go to control. We need to pull out repeat 10. But we are going to pull out our R for repeat and put that over the 10. And then we're going to get out create clone of myself. And we are going to go to motion. Now, at this point, we're creating a projectile in the bottom left corner or the bottom right corner. But what we also need to do is make sure that we are creating a projectile directly above it so that we have that effect of the two projectiles with the gap in between them that we need to get our player through. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out a change y and put that underneath our change clone, create clone. We're going to click on this 10, and we're going to change y by, let's say, 250. That should move the projectile up by a fair amount. Now, if you remember, our projectile is about 200 pixels tall, so if we move it 250 pixels up, there should be a gap of about 50 pixels. So then what we're going to do is we're going to create another clone. We're going to go to control. We're going to get out create clone of myself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move our projectile back down again, ready to create the next projectile that's on the bottom of this wave. So let's go to motion, pull out a change y, and we're going to change it by minus 250. So that looks good. And then what we're going to do is we need to make sure that we wait. So let's go to control, pull out a wait, put that on the bottom there. And then let's go to variables, and we'll pull out our projectile spawn rate, and that's how long we'll wait for. So now what we have is code that will create 2 rows of projectiles, but now we need a way of making those individual columns of projectiles angle up and angle down. So to do that, we are going to go to motion, and we are going to get out a change y and put it underneath our weight. Now technically you could actually put this into as your minus 250 plus, but I'm going to put it here just so it's obvious how all this works. Now I'm going to go up to angle, get out that A from our define wave. And I'm going to get that A, and I'm going to put it in the 10 that we've got for our change Y by. So whatever number we put in as our angle input is however much each individual column of projectiles will move up. So now we've got our projectiles creating this upward motion. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure they come back down again. So we're going to right click on where we've got our repeat, and we're going to duplicate this whole thing and put that right on the bottom, and this is going to be the projectiles moving down again. So all we need to do at this point is go to operators, get out a minus operator, and we need this last change Y by A. Just grab that A, put it into the second socket of our minus operator, and put the whole thing back in our change Y. So our first repeat is going to be the projectiles going up and up and up and up like stairs, and then the second repeat is then coming back down again by about the same amount. So this is all looking pretty good, but we need to make some changes to our when I start as clone code. So have a look for that. You'll find when I start as clone and all the code underneath it. Now, one thing that we did last week was we put in our if costume number is less than 4, don't move in the traditional way, which is good because we don't want these projectiles to move in the traditional way because they're going to be touching the edges because they're really, really tall. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look for our repeat 10, change ghost effect by 10 near the end, drag that down, make a nice big gap, and right after where we've got our if costume name equals star, this is where we're going to put the code for controlling our wave projectiles. So we might as well, let's hover over if costume name equals star, that if, right click and duplicate, put that underneath, and then connect the repeat on the bottom. Now grab everything from the set size to 1% and everything underneath it and chuck that away because we don't need that right now. So, and we're going to say if costume name equals wave. It's very important that you spell this the same way that you spelt the name of the costume. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to motion. We're going to get out a set rotation style, put that inside the if, and click on don't rotate. So this is mostly optional, but it will make sure that your projectiles are a little bit more consistent when they're moving left and right. So I recommend putting it in. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to control. We're going to get out a repeat until, put it right underneath our little set rotation style, and then we're going to go to operators. We're going to get out an OR operator. Just put that off by itself for now. We need to measure whether or not our projectiles have gone far enough left or far enough right that we want to delete them. So let's get out a more than operator and put it in the first socket of our OR, and then get out a less than operator. Make sure that you've got two different ones, one arrow going to the right and one arrow going to the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to motion. We're going to get out a X position, put that into the first socket of our more than and the first socket of our less than. And so let's say if X position is more than, let's say 150. Now if your box is wider than mine in your game, make this number a bit larger. And then put the exact same number but with a minus in front of it. So minus 150. Now take this entire thing, this entire OR, and put it into our repeat until. and we are going to get out a move 10 steps. We're going to go to variables, and we're going to get out our projectile speed and put it inside our move 10 steps. So nice and simple. It's a little bit more control than using our if touching edge, because this means if it's touching the top edge or the bottom edge, it won't delete itself, which is what we want. That will allow us to fit our nice long projectiles on there without them deleting themselves when they get too close to the top or the bottom. Okay, so let's give this a test. So have a look around for your when green flag clicked code. If you've got anything in your forever loop underneath there, just move that off to the side for now and pull out a wave my block. So for the first one, let's say direction is left, angle is 10, and repeat is 10. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that looks pretty good. This nice sort of steep angle that really forces the player to move around. Now, at this point, what I'm going to get you to do is go to your box sprite and then go to events and get out when space key pressed, and then go to looks and pull out set color effect, but we're going to change that color to ghost and change the effect from 0 to 50. Now this is quite useful. So now whenever you're playing your game, if you hit space, you'll be able to see where your projectiles are, where they're deleting themselves, where they're starting. And this is quite useful if you're trying to really figure out where to place your projectiles on the screen. So I really recommend that you play around with some of these numbers, especially with the angle. If we change the angle to, let's say, 6 and the repeat to like 20, you can see that you can have a much sort of slower little incline, although that went a bit high. So the only way to figure out exactly if your projectiles are possible to avoid is to give it a test. You can create these very slow angles. You can create much faster, shorter repeating angles. Like if we set the angle to 15 and the repeat to 5, let's see what that does. So we've got much sharper sort of angles here. We're having to change our direction a lot more. One thing we should probably also think about is adding in weights. So if we go to control and add in a weight 1 second, and let's change this direction from left to right, just to make sure that's working okay. So yeah, we've got these little short bursts that are quite cool to sort of avoid. And we can also, if we were to, for example, have a repeat 1 and the angle was 30, let's see what that looks like. Now this could be kind of useful in if we ever implement the blue heart effect, which basically prevents you from being able to float and it makes you being forced to jump. So this could be a useful thing to have to jump over when you're the blue heart. So there's a lot of different possibilities with what you can do with the wave attack. So have a bit of a play around with it, test it, and then put it in with your other attacks until you have combinations that you find interesting. Aside from that, as always, you can subscribe and ring the bell to get the notifications for when the next video is coming out and when we do Futures Lab live streams as well. And stay awesome, be cool to each other, and take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time, ninjas.